These bad boys are brilliant feel-good family food. Quick to cook and easy to remember.
This next recipe is one of those things when you're kind of going, oh, what's for dinner? What's for lunch? Meatball sandwiches, everyone? Yeah!
Using great quality minced beef, green pesto, tin plum tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella, and super soft buns.
So it's a stodgy little soft bun with meatballs, tomato, cheese. It's got the hum of pesto in there. Honestly, you're gonna love this one. You can get it done in under 20 minutes, and it's real cooking. This is what chefs really eat when they're at home, right? When they get the munchies. So pan on, medium-high heat. Over here, I've got some nice mincemeat. Good quality, grass-fed, beef mince, 400 grams. Salt and pepper, brilliant. And then pesto. Yes, this is jarred pesto. I'm gonna use 4 teaspoons in our mincemeat here.
Pesto is a nifty way to both bind the balls and give big flavour fast.
And in that pesto, of course, you've got cheese, you've got herbs, you've got smashed up basil, garlic. You get a big bang for your buck. When it comes to making a nice little meatball, little tip that you can do. Really, really simple, but just grab a little pot of water, and if you just wet your hands lightly when you're making your balls, okay? They're nice and smooth. We're gonna go in with a little tablespoon of olive oil, and as soon as it's done, we'll put it straight in the pan. By making them the same size, you know, you're just kind of making sure you get the same heat in each ball, but there's something just lovely and homely about making meatballs. So it's just for 5 minutes on a medium-high heat. Get these balls dark and golden, caramelized, get them gnarly, give them character. So we're creating a crust. Even the pesto's in there having a little bit of a party. They're gonna be juicy inside. So look, one tip on the tomatoes, which is really good, is always go for the plum tomatoes. They'll be the grade A's, right? Much better than the chopped or the passata. So when these balls have got some real color on them and they're looking beautiful, then we're gonna go into our hands, clean hands with your plum tomatoes. Shake them into your hands like that, and scrunch them in to the sauce. Try not to cover yourself, although it has been known to happen. Okay, so another little tip is often when you get mozzarella, it comes in the way. And actually you don't have to throw that away because it's full of flavour and seasoning. Use that just to clean the tin out and pour that into your sauce.
Whey is the liquid part of the milk left over from making cheese. This nifty method adds even more flavour to this super quick dish.
So again, we're making the 5 ingredients work really hard. We'll just bring that up, we'll have a little shake around, and then we're gonna get that mozzarella out. Buffalo mozzarella. All I wanna do is just get little slices, and I'm gonna get a piece of mozzarella, and I'm gonna place it nicely on each meatball, because I want it to melt in the most beautiful way. And you'll see why later. So look, I've put a bit of mozzarella on each one. I want to just lightly season the whole thing, the chopper, turn it down, and that mozzarella is just gonna reach around the ball. And that, in your bap, is gonna be a thing of joy.
Cover the meatballs and char the buns in a dry griddle pan. This is insanely quick and easy. By the time your buns are done, the meatballs are ready to serve.
And then we've got one last hit of the pesto. So we're gonna just put a teaspoon on these lovely buns. And then, look at that, come on. Let's build a bun. Those spongy rolls are just brilliant at soaking up that flavour. It's kind of a little bit of a family favourite, really. People are just gonna devour these. Look, you've got this sauce and there's a lot of it, and there's supposed to be, because you're gonna dunk this. No knives and forks here. And it's not pretty, but it's very delicious. Oh, it's so good. This is what chefs really get into when they get home, and actually your family will thank you for it.
A fantastically messy, Moorish family favourite. Go to good time grub for when you're in a hurry.
It's still there. I'm going to give you a really quick and easy, delicious chicken recipe that's going to blow your mind.
Using free-range chicken breasts, green pesto, all butter puff pastry, cherry tomatoes, and fresh green beans.
I know loads of us buy chicken breasts like this every single week. I think we can get into a little bit of a rut. And this is comforting, it's beautiful, it's really fun to do, and it's quick and delicious. So there's nothing to lose. So we've got 4 chicken breasts here. And if you just have a quick look, you'll notice one end is quite thin, one is fat. And that's a problem for even cooking. So we're gonna pound that out. That'll make it more tender, it will make it cook more evenly, guaranteeing you really juicy, delicious chicken. I'm gonna use a pesto. So let's get this ready. What I want to do now is, on the tray, I'm going to use my hand just to smash out that fat end. It'll tenderise, but it's really going to help so it's nice and even, OK? And at that stage, I'm going to season it. I'm going to take a teaspoon of our pesto. It's all flavour, it's going to be delicious. And then I've got another cheat ingredient that's brilliant. And that's all butter puff pastry. Let me show you how to do a fantastic little preparation. It's so quick to do in the week, when you're busy, even when you come back from work and it's kind of fairly late, you can rattle this out in 25 minutes. Easy peasy.
Simply cut the pastry in half lengthways and then in half again and repeat. Pastry doesn't get simpler than this.
Ultimately, you know what the job is. It's to wrap and protect this beautiful chicken breast. And if we do it with little slices like that, it gets a lovely kind of cross-section. It's nice to kind of layer them up like that, because then they kind of puff up and it just looks beautiful and sumptuous. You want it to look gorgeous and lovely. See how I've got these little edges? I just tuck it under the chicken. Give them a little gap in between each other because they will puff up. So now you've kind of tucked them in. All I would do now is just brush it with a little olive oil. This will also make it lovely and golden. So just brush those on the top, go around the bottom as well so it doesn't stick. And look at that. Kids, adults, they go wild for it. So, next up, tomatoes. Lovely cherry vine tomatoes. I'm gonna grab a little tin, really simple. I've got 400 grams of tomatoes here. We'll whack that in a tray like that. And all you need to do is salt, pepper, and a little olive oil in our tray here. And now, let's cook them together. Chicken on the top, tomatoes down the bottom. So, they're gonna cook for 20 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius, which is 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're gonna be beautiful. They'll blister, they'll go golden and gorgeous.
In no time at all, you've made a brilliant little mini pie-style supper. All you've got to do now is prep the beans and pop them in boiling salted water for 7 minutes.
So look at these. So good. Ah. It's such a lovely treat. It's such a beautiful thing. Imagine coming home to that. Can you see the gorgeous coloured oils just kind of cooking out of there? Beautiful. So let's just pop that there. And then let's have a look at the tomatoes. So what you've got there on the bottom of the tray, that is a dressing waiting to happen right there. So let's just kind of pop that onto a board. Then we've got these lovely vine tomatoes here. See these little ones that stuck? See where it's caught and burnt a little bit? That's actually flavour. It's almost like kind of drippings at the bottom of a gravy pan, right? This is all good.
This is the quickest dressing ever. Grab some cooking water, a splash of red wine vinegar, and the sticky juices from the chicken. Mix it up, getting all those lovely caramelised bits.
Delicious, sweet, pungent. It's so good. It's so good. It's kind of almost like a warm salad dressing. So these lovely beans have been cooked full of colour, but we don't want to overcook them. And while they're still hot and steaming, that is the perfect time to throw that into our dressing. 5 ingredients, working really, really hard. Shake it around. Look at that. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It smells amazing. Let's plate up, because this is so exciting. We'll take some of these gorgeous green beans, And I'm just going to slice the chicken. So there we go, guys. Look at that. That's what it's all about. Hot, steaming, crispy, flavoured and protected by the pastry and the pesto. And then your vine tomatoes. Let's try it. Enough talking. Come on. Let's go right for the middle. Mmm. Utterly delicious. Oh, it's such a good combination. It's a real winner. It's a great trick to have up your sleeve. Everything here is like best mates. Really, really delicious.
A stonking family supper, so Moorish, and a cinch to make. A classic roast lamb dinner. All the same comforting vibes with much less faff.
This next recipe is a real crowd pleaser. It's an absolute classic, and I want to show you how to do it. It's so fast.
The flavours for this dish come from lamb rump, baby new potatoes, pesto, fresh basil, and frozen peas.
This is a delicious, beautiful meal for two, and basically the timing revolves around these little babies, new potatoes. So these normally take about, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, right? So if we cut them in half, we also half the time. The spirit of this dish is to create something really awesome, really exciting, and really impressive in hardly any time at all. I love that.
Pop the spuds in salted boiling water and whack a pan on a medium-high heat ready for our hero ingredient.
The rump of lamb is a sensational cut. Get yourself a double steak. Get it from your butcher's. Beautiful. Look at that. What I'd like to do is help it by just scoring the fat like this. And by doing so, you're creating more surface area and you're allowing the heat to sort of penetrate the fat and therefore encourage crispiness, texture, stuff that gets you really excited, right? Then have a nice little season up, right? So we can season the lamb and the board and we can kind of really invest in that bark, that crust. You are maximising the capacity for some mind-blowing flavour. Look at that, okay? So little things make a big difference. Pan, fat side down, and look at that. Very quickly, that's melting like a candle. Wicked. Clean board, clean knife.
Keep giving your lamb love, turning it regularly, and in around 8 minutes, the meat will be beautifully blushing.
Look at the searing. Let's just test our potatoes. Oh, they're close. Okay, perfect time to get my peas out. Frozen vegetables are amazing. So I'm going to put about 200 grams of peas into there. Beautiful. Lid back on. We're using the same pan as well, so we're saving on washing up. Okay, next ingredient, green pesto. And in there you've got cheese, nuts, oil, garlic, so there's loads of flavour in one ingredient. So look, we're looking good here, guys.
After only 3 minutes, the peas are done. So drain with the potatoes.
Look at that.
And the lamb's had about 9 minutes, so we can remove it to rest.
Let's just place our lovely meat on here. Gorgeous. And then this we're finished with. I'm just going to get rid of that fat. But what we have got in here is nice little sticky bits in the pan. So, nick a little bit of that cooking water. And into that, we'll add some pesto.
Just 1 heaped tablespoon plus a thimble of red wine vinegar creates a delicious flavour coating for your potatoes and peas.
And then what you want to do is give that a good old toss. And then last but not least, some basil. I'm just going to pick a few big leaves and just tear it into our pan. One last toss. And then shake that onto a lovely platter. Look at those colours, guys. Yum. This lamb has had a few minutes to rest. See the juices that have naturally come out? This is gold. Don't go washing that up. Don't go washing that up. So this can go to one side.
Now simply carve the lamb into succulent slices.
Beautiful. Lay the meat in and around. And then get those juices, look. Don't go missing a bit. This ain't gravy, this is like pure essence of juice. And then just to finish it off, go to these little baby basil leaves here. Place that around. What a joy. Super fast. Time to eat. Come on. What a lovely platter of food. I love getting a little bit of everything on a fork. Frozen peas, they're always good, but in that pesto and lamb juice sort of dressing, another level. And that real steaky savouriness on the outside of the lamb, but then on the inside where it's blushing, it's just sweet and delicate with a bit of spud. Happy days. Cheers.
A comforting feast for two. Ticking the boxes of an indulgent roast, all done in under half an hour. What's not to love? I'm going to show you how to make the most beautiful tray-baked pesto pizza pie. It's so good. 5 ingredients, super simple, but this time all that inspiration from around the Mediterranean, those beautiful countries. So let me show you how to do it. Here, we've got 500 grams of self-raising flour. I'm gonna put a couple of nice pinches of salt. I'm gonna give it a little drizzle of olive oil. And then I've got 275 millilitres of cold water that I'm gonna put in. I'll use a fork to start off with. And often when you're making pizza, you've got to make the dough, you've got to prove it. We've got none of that. Make this dough by using the fork just to move stuff around. Slowly, slowly. You can use your other hand. What I don't want you to do is get really sticky, so just use the tips of your fingers. And then we'll give it a little knead. So as it comes together, you can start being a little bit more aggressive with your hand. And then what I want to do is just knead it, not a lot, just enough to make it smooth and elastic, and ultimately clean the bowl so the washing up is nice and easy. So you've got all this stuff around the edge, right? That'll all get sort of taken off. So look, I've just kneaded that for like a minute and a half, just so it cleans the edge of the bowl like that. So not much washing up to do there. So now just put it on the board. Use 2 hands now, just for a little minute, until you have a nice, elastic, smooth dough like that. Look. Very simple, very easy, and a brilliant cheat dough using self-raising flour. So look, we can put that to one side. So let's talk about flavour. On the bottom of this kind of pizza pie, we're going to have pesto, right? So you can make your own by all means, or you can just buy it, right? Get the best you can. We're going to use mozzarella, which is delicious. This is buffalo mozzarella. These ones are a bit more milky, a bit more tasty, a bit more tangy, but also a little bit wetter. And then here, with these jarred veggies, I'm using artichokes because I think it's a really classic Mediterranean vegetable. I think it's really underloved. And then good old tomatoes. So these are vine tomatoes here. Always tasty when you get them on the vine. You can use any tomatoes you want. I'm just going to get a knife and I'm just going to half some of these tomatoes, and if you want, you can quarter some others. So this is 350 grams of cherry tomatoes. What I want to do is season that up to be utterly delicious. And actually, I'm going to use my bowl from before because it's so clean. So in we go with the tomatoes. So take the artichokes out of the jar and we'll steal a little bit of that oil. If you have leftover oil here, right, really, really simple. Just grab a bit of mustard, a bit of vinegar, a bit of salt and pepper, right? Don't throw it away. Always have 1 part of vinegar to 3 parts oil, and we'll turn this marinade oil into a lovely dressing, right? Give it a little shake. So that is a nice little bit of marinade or dressing that you can put in the fridge for a rainy day. That'll last. Nice little hacks, nice little ideas. So look, what we're going to do now is just season this with salt and pepper, mix it up, and that's going to roast on top of the pesto. It's going to be great. So let's do the fun bit now. Let's roll out this dough. So I'm going to use my hands to push this dough out. Normally, I'll still need to use a little rolling pin just to roll it out. And if you want to dust it with a little flour, feel free. Just a little flour on top like that. Put it underneath. Look at that. So, super easy, super quick. All you have to do here is roll this out to the size of a tray. So this is roughly a 35 centimetre by 25 centimetre tray. And I want to roll out this bread dough slightly bigger because I want to do a really nice little twisted sort of crust that's delicious and spongy and crispy to eat. First, what I'm going to do is just lube up the tray just with a little olive oil, just so it helps the bottom get golden and not stick. So we definitely don't want you to have a stick and kind of tear it. So that goes to one side. So just roll this out. So it's about an inch bigger than the tray itself. I'll pick this bread dough up like this and just put it down on the tray. I like it having that little overhang on the edge. That's what we want. So just make it fit the tray nicely. We start off with the pesto. So 2 generous tablespoons of the pesto there, and just push that right across the tray. And you can get different pestos as well, so you might want to change up the flavour. So this recipe is open to all of that. And then we've got the tomatoes and the artichokes. I'm just going to scatter those sort of evenly across this tray. You can get beautiful peppers, you can get squash, you can use things like olives, you know, lovely veggies that cook quickly, like asparagus. Really, really nice. So have fun with this. It's a principal recipe. Then at this point, it's super simple. It's not technical in the slightest. I'm going to take up one corner of the pastry and I'm going to fold it over like that. When I fold it over, I'm going to use my thumb just to push down. Then I'm going to put my forefinger here and pull the next bit over and push it down. Simple, right? Like that, like that. So we can spin the tray. Don't stress about this. It's just a bit of fun. It's just a nice little kind of crimped edge. So look, it's already looking pretty beautiful. Use the mozzarella, just tear it like this, right? So you can use any cheese you like that melts nicely. Just tear a little bit off and just dunk it in a little kind of evenly dispersed hole. There's really no rules apart from just roughly be even Stevens. So I've got a little bit of that excess herby oil here from the jarred artichokes, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that over the edges and in and around the beautiful pizza. So look, it's a thing of joy. Now I'm going to cook this in the oven for 30 minutes and I'm going to put it at the bottom of the oven so the heat has the best chance of making this base nice and semi-crispy. And then we're going to get this golden and crispy on top. Beautiful. So 30 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, which is around 400 Fahrenheit, and it should be a very beautiful thing. So in it goes. Nice little salad. Maybe a little glass of wine, and that is a delicious little meal. So it's had 30 minutes, it's smelling and looking pretty good. Have a look at that. It is just a thing of beauty. It's like a picture. It's weirdly satisfying. If I get my knife under here, it should just slide off, which we like. This is actually, you know, for 4 people, I think that's quite generous. Look at that. Just a nice, juicy slice of our pesto pizza pie. It's really easy. It's really fun to do. I think it's very flexible, depending on what you've got in your fridge or your pantry. Like, you can have some fun with it. It's nice and hot, so I'm gonna have to eat this in a very technical way so I don't burn myself. But look at that. Quite nice for parties, actually, like a little wedge like that, going around, get people going when they arrive at a little dinner party. Beautiful. So look, I love how the base is actually nice and crispy, but I also love, see how you get that sponginess there, right? We love that. Ooh, hot. Combinations, like crunch, soft, sweet, fragrant, herb, the mozzarella, milky, tangy. Like, it is all the things that we love about a good pizza. If you want to get the recipe, then check out the book. I hope you love it as much as I do.